Good morning, everyone. It is going to be a hot one here in Ontario, in the southern part of Ontario today. So we're going to begin today with something called Sitali breathing and an option called Sitali breathing. And the intention behind this is it's a cooling breath. So you can practice it even if you're not unrolling your mat and having a full practice, just as a way to cool down your system. So I invite you to come to a comfortable position. This is a way of utilizing your yoga practice to just apply to everyday life, especially in response to the weather and your mood. I tend to be a little bit more pitta, so for my from an Ayurvedic standpoint, that a little bit more fiery, and so this breath work is really great when you seem to have that type of dominant dosha. So for me, I'm a sun sign, I'm a Leo. I'm also that fiery dosha, and it's a really warm day today. I love it, and at the same time, I know I need to balance it out. So to begin today with our breath work, Sitali breathing is actually like breathing through a straw. So you make kind of like a hot dog or a taco shape with your tongue, sticking out your tongue about 3/4 of an inch or as far as it can go. And on the inhale, you'll be breathing in through your tongue. Feel that cooling air coming into your body, really focusing on that ability to cool and its temperature coming into your body. So try that for a moment. Then you close your mouth and you'll allow the exhalation to come out through your nose as you pull your navel to the spine. So try that again. Curl your tongue like a taco. Inhale, like you're sipping in through a straw. Close your mouth. Exhale through your nose as belly comes to spine. Great. Now, there are, I think it's about 20% of the population that simply cannot do that tongue movement. I think for genetic reasons or other reasons, no worries. If you can't make that straw-like or that taco-like shape with your tongue, you can do something that's called Sitali breathing. So you would actually bring your teeth together, separate your lips, and you're going to sip in through your teeth like it's making a hissing sound. Close your lips and then exhale through your nose as the belly comes to spine. So you'll achieve that same cooling effect without having to worry about making that shape with your tongue. So let's try that one again. Sitali breathing, Sitkari. Focus on that coolness and now exhale through the nose. You want the breath work to be nice and even and smooth, so you're not like gasping or grasping for and making it feel stressful. So let's do that, and we'll practice a couple of minutes, and then as you become more familiar with it, you can practice for about up to 10 minutes. You don't want to become lightheaded in any way. If you do, just come back to regular breathing. So let's ensure that our spine is nice and tall. That doesn't mean rigid. It allows for the natural curvature, so those natural S-shaped curvature of the spine. Let's roll the shoulders up, around and down, and let the palms open. Beautiful. So the chin's not reaching way up here. It's just this natural, it's almost like you're looking out to the horizon. You want the head to feel relatively weightless, like it's sitting in a cosmic headrest. I've heard that said before. Just before we begin, close your eyes. Take a moment to have an expression of gratitude for this day. And know that even if you have bumps in the road today, or it seems like a really big storm emotionally, or however it feels energetically, trust that you're going to come through that storm and see light. So sometimes life seems extra challenging, and we wonder why that is. And sometimes we don't ever really quite know the reason, but trust that on the other side of it is something that you were meant to discover. So have a moment here to express gratitude for whatever this day brings. Maybe something as simple as, I am thankful for the lessons of today. May I meet the challenges with a mental state of equanimity. May I discover or uncover my resilience. And your eyes may be open, just a very sort of panoramic view, or gently downturn past your nose, or if you like to have them closed for this breath work, feel whatever feels good for you. So I'm going to begin with Sitali breathing, Sitali, and then I will also move into Sitali breathing just as demonstrating. You're going to pick the one that you like, and we'll practice for a couple of minutes. So let's begin inhaling. Exhale through the nose. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Continue. Remember, if you become lightheaded, you'll discontinue, go back to regular breathing, calm the mind. Please complete 2 more rounds. And release that breathing, eyes closed or just gently downturned, allowing the breath to have its natural rhythm, its frequency, it's calm and even. Noticing the effects of that pranayama. Great. So if you like, you can try that again. Maybe pause the video, but due to our time constraint, we are going to get right into our practice. But feel free to practice that at any time or check out my other video on the tutorial on how to practice that cooling yoga breathing. Let's come to standing on our mats. This would be a little bit more energizing practice. Suppose you're standing on your mat, bringing your feet right underneath your hips, your big toes together if you like to practice a little bit more traditionally. Draw the shoulders up. Allow them to come around, back and down. Do that a couple of times, inhaling and exhaling. And of course, you're applying a slight drawing up of the pelvic floor. We call that bandha. And some support through the lower abdominals. Once more, inhaling, drawing the shoulders up, and exhale, around and down. Now interlace your fingers behind your back. Let the knuckles draw down towards the earth as you draw your triceps closer to each other, lifting your heart. And this pranayama can be regular, steady, easeful breathing, or if you'd like to apply ujjayi pranayama, feel free. Remember, it's the breath that actually carries the prana. And if it feels appropriate, lifting your heart a little bit more, keeping support through your glutes, shining your heart to the day, whatever lessons it has to offer you. And return your shoulders and your ears above the hips. Release the arms. Inhale, draw the arms up. Maybe taking a wrist or interlacing your fingers. And let's just think about lengthening from the outer edges of your heels all the way up through the side body, all the way up through the tips of the fingers. Separating your arms, elbows out wide, lifting your heart, engage your quadriceps and glutes. And back through center, taking your left wrist with your right hand, reaching up and out of your hips, pressing down into the earth with your feet. About 3 breaths. Inhale up, take opposite wrist up and out of the hips, keeping all 10 toes on the ground, pressing into both feet. Inhale up. And as you exhale, hands to heart center, continue to fold forward, keep some support through your abdominals. Hands coming onto the thighs or onto the shins. Inhale, come up part way, looking down past your nose. Feel a gentle lengthening through the hamstrings. Pull the belly into the back body. Keep the chest space open so that back muscles are drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine. If this aggravates your back, of course, bend your knees slightly. What we don't want to do is hang, so correct that postural alignment through the spine and bend your knees if necessary. If you're intent on getting to the ground, please try to remove that from your agenda. And think about more feeling sensation through the back of the legs here. I don't want you feeling it through your upper back or your back. So not this, this. Begin to take your hands down to the ground, walk your feet back, and come into downward facing dog. Let's let the right heel lower to the ground. Keep the belly drawing into the back body. And feel free to play here a little bit with your wrists. Maybe take your hands slightly wider. But you do want to have the meaty part just below your thumb, that really meaty part of your palm to be in contact with the earth. If your elbows are bent, see if you can draw them a little more parallel. And let's switch sides with your feet. Lower heel comes down, right heel lifts. And if you're hyper flexible through your shoulders and you're intent on drawing your head past your arms, please don't do that. It's not great for the shoulder joint. Our shoulder joint is pretty vulnerable, more vulnerable joint in our body. So we want the ears to line to the inner edges of the arms. Press the earth away with your hands. Bend both knees. Press your sitting bones up to the sky, belly to spine. Press the earth away with the hands. Reach your head down towards the ground, and now lower both heels down wherever they go. And they might kind of still be up in the air. That's okay. If, however, there's length available in the back of the legs, feel free to lower them right to the earth. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Lifting your kneecaps by engaging your quadriceps as you press your heels down to the ground. You don't want to be feeling pinching in your shoulders. If you do, kind of play with the position of your biceps and your triceps by the way you're rolling them in and out. Let's lower the knees to the ground. Draw the sitting bones back into child's pose and walk your hands over to the right. Bow down again. I'm keeping my toes tucked just so I can stretch out the soles of my feet. Feel that breath into the left side body. Inhale, lifting up and walking over to the other side. And bowing down again, breathing into the right side body, the outer right hip. Inhale, come back to center and into your tabletop position. Let's move the spine through a few cow and cats. Let the in-breath draw the heart forward, and the out-breath as the navel comes to spine, looking towards the navel. Arch your back. Really feel a deep stretch all along the spine. Inhale, let the heart shift forward. Exhale, press and round. Let's do 3 more like that with your own breath. Last one. Feel that breath coursing through the body. Back to your tabletop position. Tuck your toes, draw the sitting bones back, ears between the arms, elevate your sitting bones up to the sky, and exhale your heels down to the ground, belly to spine. Take your feet line up your outer edges of your feet to the width of your mat. And draw your sitting bones up and back, just getting into your hamstrings a little bit more. Again, if you're feeling a pinching in your shoulders, maybe widen your arms a little bit. Maybe even slightly rotate your palms, but you'll know really paying attention to the shoulder sensation. Let those hips move to the right for about 2 or 3 breaths. And to the left for 2 or 3 breaths, feeling the breath in the body. Back to center. Bring your heel toes closer together, about hip distance apart. Bending your right knee once again. And then your left. Might feel a little different second time through. Lifting both heels up. Exhale, both sitting bones up and back down through your heels. Take your feet wide again. Adding on, left hand staying on the mat. Take your right arm and reach it towards your left ankle. Switch sides, right hand meets the mat, and left hand to right ankle. And if that ankle's not available, you can maybe reach to your thigh. Back to center. Let's bring those feet right so that they're touching, and lower the big toes. Inner edges of the toes are touching, drawing your heels down close together. And now inhale, lift your heels and pivot like you're velcroing your ankles together. Pivot both heels down towards the right. Press your sitting bones back a little more. Inhale through center and pivot over to the left. Of course, at any time in your practice, you modify as needed and never do anything that feels wrong or dangerous for you. Inhale through center and exhale. Separate your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, right leg to the sky, bending through the knee, and let that heel come towards your glute. And that right foot is active, so it's not kind of lazy. You're drawing the toes towards your shin and opening that right knee a little bit more, and see if you can press evenly into both hands. We tend to lean into the left, so press a little bit more into your right. And release that down. One more. Hold on, arms. You're strengthening your upper body here. Inhale, lifting the left leg up, keeping your pelvis relatively neutral. Bend your knee, draw the heel towards your right glute. Press your left hand into the earth. Point your toes, or draw your toes towards your left shin. Maybe open that knee a little more to the sky, and then release down. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, come up part way. Remember to take good care of the back. We're not dangling off of our spine here. And exhale to fold, maybe a little deeper this time. Maybe the hamstrings are a little bit more receptive. Peel your right heel up. Feel that move into your... Peel your left heel up. And lower it down. Bend your knees a lot. Feel the weight move right into the center of your heel as the toes come to the ground. Inhale, sweep the arms up, but stop about halfway and let your spine have its natural curve. This is how you would sit down into a chair. You wouldn't round. Your body knows to naturally kind of curve its back in its natural ability. Maybe the arms come forward. Maybe they stay on your hips. Breathing here. It's almost like your knees have kind of a magnet between them. They're close, but they don't go too far, and yet they stay parallel. And exhale, folding again over those thighs. As the hamstrings become a little bit more cooperative, you might find a little more length. Do so safely. Exhale to fold. If it's available, wrap your arms around the back of your calves, bend your knees, take your hands to the front of your ankles, and lengthen again. 3 breaths. And bend the knees, release the arms. Bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart just to make room for all of your joints. Bring your hands to heart center. Open up the chest, belly towards the back body. Let the left elbow come to the right thigh. Inhale to open. Just looking up past that right elbow. It's okay if your right hip lifts slightly and your left knee comes slightly forward, allows the joints to move naturally, contrary to what you might have been told before. Maybe wrapping the right arm around the low back. And come back to center. Take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Maybe make some room for your belly. Draw the hands to heart center and revolve open. Just taking a gaze past your left shoulder. Maybe wrapping left arm around low back. And back to center. Inhale, reach all the way up, press the earth away. Find your back bend that is available. Exhale to your heart. Excellent. Take your right foot and step it back about 2 feet, pivoting your right foot open about 30 degrees right up from your hip socket. Interlacing your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart, engage your quadriceps, and exhale, fold over the left thigh. Gazing down past your left toes. Release your hands to the floor, right underneath your shoulders, and then walk them slightly forward as you lift your right leg off the ground. Check if that right hip is opening, and if it is, draw that right side of your pelvis down with the left. You can always use blocks here underneath your hands. Turning this into half moon pose, the left hand will stay on the ground. Now pivot your right hip above your left. Just do whatever you can. Maybe opening more, using more of balance here. pressing actively through that elevated foot, reaching from your heart in both directions. Beautiful. Release down with control. Bending that right knee and release. Inhale, lift your left leg parallel to the ground. Tack that left side of your pelvis down so it's even with the right. Toes pointing down actively. Belly to spine. We're not locking that right knee. It's got some engagement. Now begin to rotate your left hip above your right. Walk your right hand underneath your right shoulder a little bit more, sweeping the left arm up to the sky. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Releasing down slowly. And the leg. Bending the knees, inhale, sweep all the way up. Find your back bend. Exhale to the heart. Beautiful. This time as you step your right foot back, you're actually going to step it back even further and bend into your left knee, keeping your feet about hip distance apart. Pivot that right hip socket open. Check that you can still see your front toes. Inhale, arms sweep up. Draw the fingers towards the spine. Press that, feel that inner back. You can even take your hand and kind of assist it. And breathe here. 3 breaths. Bring your shoulders and your ears back above the hips, hands to the heart center. Now bring that right elbow to the outer left thigh. If you need to, peel your back heel off the ground, but if you're able to keep it down, you can do so. And maybe even move your belly around the thigh. Press the elbow into the outer thigh, bring your hands to heart center. Breathe here. Take your gaze back down to your foot. Release your hands to either side of your foot. Lower your right knee to the ground. Right hand under the shoulder. Hips are forward, left knee above, left ankle. Open up the left arm as you hug the left knee in towards center line. So we're getting a nice hip flexor stretch. That's why we've got the knee on the ground. You can wrap your arm around the low back. Maybe open a little bit more by drawing the chest towards the inner left thigh. Looking down towards your toes. Peel your right knee up. And you're simply going to pivot over to the other side. Walk to the other end of your mat. And we'll do that in reverse order. Let your left knee come to the ground. Left hand under the left shoulder. Beautiful stretch through the left hip flexors. Inhale, sweeping the right arm up to the sky. Hug that right knee and it's going to want to pull out. Maybe wrap the right arm around the low back as you rotate your chest a little bit more to that right inner thigh. Looking up to the sky. Looking back down towards your feet. Peel your left knee off of the ground. And if you planted it flat on the ground last time, then do so now. Checking again that the knee tracks over that right ankle. And bring the left elbow to the outer edge of the right thigh. Continuing to press the outer edge of your left foot down to the ground as you pivot your chest towards that right inner thigh. Drawing the right knee towards the center of the right foot. Coming back through center, inhale, come into your warrior one. Draw the fingers towards the spine, elbows to the sky. Energize that back leg. Reaching up. Beautiful. Hands coming back towards your hips. Pivot the left heel up and step it to the top of your mat. Excellent. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Find your back bend. Maybe the fingers come together, maybe the shoulders come apart. Remember, your glutes are engaged, the heart is lifting up. And back through center. A little bit more balance here. Take your gaze into an immovable spot on the ground. The support through your belly. Focusing on all 5 toes of the left foot rooting down. And the center of your left heel. Now engage your left inner thigh. Beautiful. Picking up your right knee. Press the left foot into the ground. And with control, let that right foot come back. Nice and slow. We're going to keep that right knee bent. Now lengthen it out. And take your airplane wings out wide. Virabhadrasana 3. Let your hands slowly find the earth. Right toes point to the sky, standing splits. Bending that right knee, lower it down beside the left foot. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Find your back bend with the support of your glutes. Lift your heart up and back. Maybe interlace your fingers. Remember, only do this if it feels right. Otherwise, you can plant your hands on your low back for a little bit additional support. And back up through center. Find that immovable spot for your gaze. All 5 toes of the right foot rooted, the center of the right heel. Pressing through the right foot. Elevate your left knee. Nice and strong through both legs. Begin to pivot the pelvis over the thigh bone. Controlled and slow. Keeping that left knee bent for a moment, pelvis in neutral. Now begin to lengthen out your left leg, pressing, almost like you're pressing some resistance through that left foot. Now spread your wings and fly. Gazing down past your nose. Release the hands slowly to the floor, left toe to the sky, standing splits. Breathing here. Bending your left knee, release it down beside the right foot. Last time in standing forward fold, this time taking your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, look up to the horizon. As you exhale, pressing the toes into the fingers, elbows come out wide. Feel those shoulder blades draw together. Stretching through the hamstrings. And bending those knees, release the fingers, lower your knees to the ground. And draw the sitting bones back to the heels. Nice. Stretching out our quadriceps. If you like, you can sit on props, pillows from your living room or blocks. If it's available, you'll nestle your sitting bones down towards the ground and let your heels come to the outer edge of your hips. Get nice and tall with the natural curve of your spine. Feeling a stretch through the front of the ankles. If you need to take some of that out, come out and then come back in. Slowly, slowly working with what the body has available. If you have a little bit more flexibility available, come back onto your forearms. Keep those knees pressing down to the ground, feeling a stretch through your quadriceps. Maybe lowering the spine to the ground if this is an option for you, and lengthening the arms above the head. 3 more breaths, wherever you're at is good. Hands coming back towards the ankles. Help yourself up through the elbows. And come to seated with your legs out wide. So we'll start with our left leg out, the heel, right heel coming in towards the right groin, and make sure your pelvis is in neutral. Feel free to sit so that you're not rolling back into your spine. Just even right now, we're receiving a hamstring stretch. Maybe take that leg out a little bit wider, move it to the inner left thigh. Left hand on left shin. Notice my toe isn't rolling in, it's not flopping out. It's kind of in a strong neutral position. Open up the right shoulder, take a look towards the right hand. Inhale, sweep it up like you're painting the sky as the left hand traces down the left is available, reaching up and over. Maybe the hand rests on the forehead or the outer ear. We're going to keep looking in this direction like I'm looking at you. Maybe the right fingers keep reaching down towards the toes. Maybe they reach for the arm. If they reach for the toes, just check that you didn't fold forward. We're actually trying to get to the side body here. So you're going to keep rotating your chest towards me. Maybe looking up towards your inner elbow. Especially if looking down causes you to fold forward. We want to keep that chest space open. Remember, this is an option. Now inhale, sweep that right arm up. Bring that right hand underneath the shoulder. Pivot that inner edge of your left foot down to the ground. Coming into gate pose, reach the left arm alongside the left ear. If you like, for a couple of breaths, elevate the left foot, coming into another balance pose. And release that down. We'll do that all on the other side. So draw your left heel into the groin. Open your right leg out to the side. Again, readjust. Make sure your pelvis is in a neutral position. Right toes pointing to the sky. And then you can stay right here, especially if you're feeling something. You can even place something behind your right knee. Next option, right hand on right shin. Rotate left shoulder open. Take a look towards your left fingers. Inhale, painting the sky. And exhale, moving into the depth of your pose. It might be here. This is beautiful. It might be here. It might be here. Again, if your chest draws down, open it up. So we're trying to get into the QL, the quadratus lumborum, at the left low back region and the right hamstring. So opening up the chest. Take a peek at me through that arm. Very rarely do we get this nice deep side body stretch. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, left hand under left shoulder. Pivot the right foot to the floor. Coming into gate pose. Left wrist under the left shoulder. Continuing to press that right outer foot to the ground. You can stay here or move it into a balance pose. Allowing that left or the right leg to be parallel to the ground. Releasing that right foot down. Draw your glutes back down to the ground. Now take both legs out wide. It's like you're trying to take your heels to the corners of your mat, toes pointing up to the sky. If it's too much and causes you to round, please bend your knees instead. Rather have you take good care of your spine without sacrificing that just to get your legs straight. So feeling into the hamstrings here. Another option, you can always sit your sitting bones up on something. My chest space is open naturally. Pelvic floor is lifted. Breath is even. Inhale. Once you exhale, rotate over towards your left toes, like you're trying to look at your left toes, keeping that right leg on the ground. Begin to walk your hands down. So now we are actually rotating our chest down towards that left leg. Keeping that right sitting bone towards the earth. Maybe taking the right hand to the outer edge of the left foot. Just asking a little bit more. Inhale, maybe exhale, folding a little deeper. If you're holding your breath, that's your body telling you you've gone too far. Always want your breath to be even and steady. Let it be the gauge, the barometer for your practice. And we'll walk our hands back up and then rotate our chest back to center. Take a breath in right down to the base of your spine. And then exhale, rotate looking over towards your right toes. And exhale, beginning to walk your hands down either side of that right leg. Looking to the toes or the knee. Option to take the hand to the outer edge of the right foot. And as you pull the foot towards you, maybe bowing down a little more. Keeping that left heel, left sitting bone working towards the ground. Breath is even. Begin to walk your hands back up through center as you take your breath in. And rotate your chest back to center. One more fold in this sequence. Inhale, lifting your chest and feeling your pelvis rotate over your thighs. Begin to walk your hands. Maybe you stay here. Maybe it's on the forearms. Check out the position of your back. Again, we want to maintain its integrity. Check out the position of your toes. Are they lazy? Can you bring a little bit more intelligence into the movements? You might be feeling this through your inner thighs. I know I am today. I haven't performed this particular asana in a couple of weeks. I don't know why. Let's see if we can bring awareness back to the breath in case you lost it as we stay here for a little longer. Maybe feeling the in-breath to a count of 3, 4, or 5, whatever feels natural and smooth. Maybe the body starts to cooperate a little bit more or open up a little bit more. And let the out-breath be about the same length as the in-breath or slightly longer. The heart continues to draw forward. 5 more breaths here, please. And use your hands to help you back up. Let's let the soles of the feet find each other as the knees open wide into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. My sitting bone's a little closer. Hold my feet. You can always hold your knees. Let the knees draw down to the earth. As the knees draw down, maybe the tops, inner edges of the feet open, chest opens. Maybe you exhale and draw a little more forward. You can use your elbows to assist the inner edges of your thighs. Again, lengthening the crown out of the base of your spine. So we're thinking about length here, not rounding. Feeling a stretch through the hips. And sometimes your hips just are never made to open. Some people say, why don't they open? So your bones just may not have that availability. Everybody's bony structure has got little different indentations and depths and rounding of thigh bones or not. So just always a little bit. We're not made out of a Play-Doh cookie cutter shape. So we all have our interesting variations in our bony structures. Honor yours. Let's use a little support through the abdominals. As you take your in-breath, come up. We'll take one more variation here. Turtle pose. Walk your feet a little more forward. Your sitting bones a little more back. Sometimes it looks more like a diamond. And this time the inner edges of your feet will stay together. So inhale, lift your heart. And as you exhale, you'll notice my knees are off the ground. That is what's going to happen here. So we're not trying to force the knees down. This is a different sensation. We're moving into different tissue. Exhale, hinge your heart forward. So hinge the spine forward. And now allow a rounding as you drop the forehead towards the arches of your feet. Another variation is to walk your arms into the creases of your knees. You can use those arms to pull, kind of like gently press on the inner edges of your knees as you draw down. And some people who are really flexible and have been practicing for a while can take the bind by wrapping your arms behind your back, taking them back behind your legs. My body is not going to do that today, but I invite you to do that if it's in your practice. And elevate your together. Come down onto your back, please. So I'm going to flip around. Bring your feet so that your heels are underneath your knees. Let's take the arms about 45 degrees from the body. Gently let those knees sway side to side. Feel that release in the back. We did some movements today that might have drawn on those back muscles in a way that you're not used to. So let's make sure we release those out. Moving nice and slow. Sometimes I see people moving really fast. Just let the rhythm of the movement coincide with the rhythm of your breath. And we want that breath to be slow and even. And bringing those knees back to parallel. Let's take the right foot and place it on the left thigh and gently open that right knee away from the body. Begin to draw, keep your glutes engaged. Draw your left foot off the ground. Maybe hold behind your thigh. Right elbow can assist that right knee staying open and away from the body. Now elevate your left leg to the sky. You might be available to walk your hands up towards the left ankle, encourage it a little more depth. Bending that knee, planting that foot on the ground. Slide your thighs close together. Inhale, and on the exhalation, strong abdominals, draw the knees towards you. Might be available to take your ankles. You want to feel this in the hip socket. Open your chest. So the head is on the ground, the upper back is on the ground. Deep stretch through the outer right hip. Protect your knees by drawing your toes towards your shins. So you shouldn't be feeling anything here through your knees. This movement is originating in its rotation from the hip socket. So let's release that down. Uncross the legs. Take the left foot onto the right thigh. Notice the position of my ankle at about 90 degrees. Pressing the outer edge of that foot into the thigh bone. Now open your left knee away. Engage your abdominals, and on the exhalation, draw the right foot off the ground. Interlacing your hands behind the right thigh, use your left elbow to open the left knee away. Extend your right leg to the sky. Find your breath. Maybe walk your hands up towards your ankle. Broaden your upper back. Bending that right knee, plant that foot on the floor, and slide your thighs close together. Begin to draw the knees into the chest. Maybe take your hands to the outer edges of your ankles. Broaden your collarbones. Again, this rotation is coming through the left hip socket. It's externally rotating. So is the right, but the feeling here is in the left hip socket. You're not meant to feel sensation in your knee joint at all. Although it has a little bit of mobility to move slightly left and right, it is predominantly more of a hinge joint. Breathe here. Your hips will thank you. And release that down. Uncross your legs. Take your knees out wide. Put your hands on your low belly. There's a little bit of an arching here in your low back. As the weight of the knees draw down, the inner thighs open up. And if you don't need your hands to assist the holding of the thighs here, let's bring the arms above the head and take your arms around your head, framing it. Breathe more space into your entire rib cage. Releasing those arms down about shoulder height, palms facing open. Walk your shoulder blades under, draw your knees close together, feel your abdominals helping with that movement. Let's lengthen the right leg down to the ground. Draw the left knee into the chest, and let's start to roll that left hip over the right. Maybe assist it. Maybe assist that knee with your hands so that we're bringing that left hip off of the ground. The outer edge of my right foot has rolled down towards the earth. And if you like, lift your head just slightly and take a look towards the left hand. Feel that sensation into the low back, the breathing in the chest. Now, bring your head back to neutral. Take both hands around the knee and draw it into the chest as you bring your back of your pelvis on the ground. And with control, abdominals strong, extend that leg up to the sky and slowly, slowly lower that leg down to the ground. Great. Take your arms out wide again. Slide that right knee beside the inner edge of your left knee. Inhale. And on the exhalation, begin to lift your right hip off of the ground, like you're trying to stack your right hip above your left. Maybe support the knee with your left hand. See if you can draw your shoulder blade down to the ground. It might help to look towards your right hand to allow that movement to be so. We never force in our practice. We gently encourage. We offer suggestions. But force isn't meant to be part of our practice. And oftentimes that force is driven by ego. Remember, we checked our ego off of our mat. It's just sitting there, patiently waiting to trust me, it'll be there. Now we're letting the natural intelligence of the body find an opening and a strengthening. Your head back to center. Abdominals are on. Draw the knee back to center. With the strength of the abdominals, let the right leg reach up to the sky and slowly, slowly lowering it down. Belly is towards spine as you're breathing. Let's take the legs to the corners of the mat. Toes flop open. Arms open up. Walk the left shoulder blade under and then the right. Feel that expansion through the chest. The palms open up as a gesture of receptivity to the universal flow of energy. Now take a breath in through the nose. Inflate your lungs to capacity. And exhale through the mouth, long, slow sigh. Let your fingers soften. Eyes close. Feeling into the effects of your practice. See that the center of the back of your head is on the ground. That your throat isn't jutting up to the sky. And today I'll read you the poem called I Choose. And you can find its details in the links below, the comment section below. Before we begin, say to yourself, I choose to surrender. I choose to surrender. I choose to surrender into the support of the universal flow of energy. And so it is. Choose by Najwa Zebian. Today I choose to be happy. I choose to let go. I choose to be myself. Today I choose to be free. I choose to liberate my soul from the aches it's been through. Today I choose to stay away from closed doors. I choose not to craft a wall around my heart. I choose to decorate it with the lessons I have learned. I choose to paint it with respect and confidence. Today, I choose to forgive myself for being too much of myself, for allowing myself to harm myself. Today, I choose to embrace flaws. I choose to accept mistakes. Today, I choose change. I choose to be better. I choose to move forward. I choose to guard my soul. Today, I choose to be brave. I choose to say no when saying yes hurts. Today, I choose to be wise. Today, I choose to walk away from places I don't belong, and I choose to embrace my time. For all that is precious is unique, and all that is unique is different, and all that is different is beautiful. Today, I choose to be beautiful. Choose. Move your right toes, wiggle them. Move your left toes. Right hand, left hand. All fingers and all toes, spread them wide as you breathe in, like you're breathing into the space between each of the joints. And exhale, soften. Begin to draw your legs closer together. Reach your arms above your head. Maybe point your toes. Breathe into this newfound length in your body. Now draw your toes towards your nose. Release your arms down alongside your body. Slide your left heel up towards your glute and then your right. Draw left knee into the chest, and then your right. Massage your low back, rock side to side a little bit. Now plant your feet down, roll over onto one side, and help your way to seated. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope this practice gave you what you needed. Offer thanks to yourself for showing up to the mat. Thank you. May your inner light guide you through the day.